All right, let's dive into one of the biggest mysteries in all of science, the secret rules of our DNA. You can think of the genome as this huge, ancient book, written in a language we're really only just starting to figure out. We've known the letters for a while, A, C, G, and T, but what about the grammar? What are the rules that govern how it's written?
Now, we have these incredible tools, right? Like CRISPR. They let us act as editors for the code of life itself. I mean, we can literally go in and delete, insert, and rewrite genes with this stunning precision. It's like having a word processor for biology, a technology that is poised to change, well, everything.
But here's the catch. Imagine you're trying to edit a sentence in a language you don't really speak. You could change one little word and accidentally turn a beautiful line of poetry into total gibberish. That's the exact risk we're facing with our DNA. If we're going to alter the code of living things, we had better master the rules, a lot of which are still a complete mystery to us.
So to understand the rules we're looking for now, we've got to go back, way back, to the beginning, to the very first person who noticed that DNA wasn't just some random jumble of letters. He saw that it had structure, it had rules.
And that person was Erwin Chargaff. Back in the 1950s, he was this incredibly meticulous biochemist, and he just analyzed the DNA from all kinds of different species. What he found was so important, it actually became one of the key clues that helped Watson and Crick finally figure out the whole double helix structure of DNA.
Okay, so Chargaff's first rule, it made perfect sense. In the double helix, A always pairs up with T, and C always pairs with G. So yeah, of course their amounts are equal. But then, 17 years later, he found a second rule, and this one was weird. In a single strand of DNA, the amounts of A and T were only sort of equal. Same for C and G. Why? For decades, nobody had a clue.
And that second weird rule, it basically kicked off a scientific mystery that would last for decades. We had this tantalizing hint that there was some kind of hidden order to DNA, but finding the next piece of that puzzle, well, that turned out to be incredibly hard. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's wild. There was a 17-year gap between Chargaff's first and second rules. Then another 25 years went by before the next little discovery. And then, bam, the sequencing revolution happened. Suddenly, reading DNA became cheap and fast, and we were drowning in genetic data. You'd think, with all that information, we'd find more rules, right?
We threw everything we had at it. I'm talking petabytes of data. That's thousands of trillions of letters of genetic code fed into the most powerful AI and data mining algorithms we've ever built. The thinking was pretty clear. The machines will find the hidden patterns. They'll crack the secret grammar of DNA for us. And the number of new fundamental rules they found was a big fat zero. Nada. Nothing. Our most powerful tools, coming through mountains of data, came up completely empty. It just begged the question, why? How could these deep, universal rules be hiding in plain sight, invisible even to our best artificial intelligence?
You know, maybe as the leader of the Human Genome Project, Francis Collins suggested, maybe we were just thinking about it all wrong. We were treating DNA like raw data, just hunting for statistical patterns. But what if it's more than that? What if it really is a language, with a grammar so much more complex than anything we could have imagined?
And this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. If AI and data mining couldn't see the rules, maybe we just needed a different kind of tool, a new kind of microscope, one designed for seeing abstract patterns. So the groundbreaking idea was this: let's stop just looking for patterns on the surface. What if the rules of DNA's grammar weren't just statistical quirks? What if they were the result of a deep, underlying mathematical structure? This meant we had to apply a whole new way of thinking, a mathematical framework that could see relationships that are totally invisible to the naked eye.
And that's exactly why math was the perfect tool for the job. Mathematics is, at its heart, the science of patterns. It's designed to see these abstract relationships and structures that our eyes, and apparently even our best AI, just can't. It became the new lens for looking at this old mystery.
And by looking at the problem through this new mathematical lens, scientists finally got the breakthrough that had been hiding from them for more than half a century.
A totally new conceptual framework was built. It wasn't about just crunching more data. It was about organizing the data in a brand new way, one based on mathematical ideas of symmetry and transformation. And this let researchers see connections between different DNA sequences that were there all along but completely hidden from view.
And the result? 4. They found 4 new, fundamental rules of DNA's grammar. And these weren't just patterns they happened to notice. They were mathematically deduced from first principles, kind of like a proof in geometry. It enriches our whole understanding of the language of life, revealing what one researcher called a little spark of the mathematical beauty hidden in the code of life.
But you know how science works? Every incredible answer just opens the door to an even deeper question. We've found more of the grammar, sure, but that just leads us to the next great mystery.
So here's what we know. These new rules, just like Chargaff's mysterious second rule, have been saved, preserved across billions of years of evolution in thousands and thousands of species. But we still have no idea what they do. What's their biological function? Does the fact that evolution kept them around mean they're super important for survival? Or are they just beautiful mathematical accidents with no real purpose?
And don't think for a second this is just some abstract theory. This is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. The new math made a stunning prediction. If you take certain DNA sequences and add up how often they appear in a genome, the result should be exactly 0.5. So, scientists tested this against over 60,000 real-world genomes, and the value they observed was, you guessed it, almost exactly 0.5. The math perfectly predicted reality.
So, we've peeled back another layer of the onion, and we've found this elegant, totally unexpected mathematical structure right at the heart of our own biology. The code of life follows a beautiful, abstract grammar. And that leaves us with the next huge question to think about. Why? Why is this mathematical beauty woven into the very fabric of our existence?